Hey,
Hi,
how are you?
Mike.
How you doing? Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Hi, sir.
Good to
Nice
see
to
you
see
again.
you.
Yeah. Like to say anything about what's going on today?
You know, it's we have to hold predatory employers accountable regardless of who they are. And you look around and you see people who are heroes, women who have kept people alive throughout this pandemic, and they're not being treated with basic human decency for their work. And that's what we need, and that's what we insist has to happen.
How's your campaign going?
It's going really well. We've got a great team, and I think this is such an important time for New York's recovery, and it needs to be done in a much more affordable, livable, sustainable way. I know that, that's the most important thing. How we allocate all resources to recovery, and how we first prioritize people who've been in the most pain and hit the hardest, not just by this pandemic, but by systemic racism and clan inequality. All of the issues that have built our city to now have an opportunity to build in a different way moving forward. I think that's really critical and exciting.
It was good to see you again today.
It's you. It's so nice
See
to
you
see
again
you.
later.
Yes, yes.
Hey, talk short.
Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! 話晒會就話晒會咧，我哋就簡稱佢 CPC，就係佢。大家一齊嗌口號啊！大聲啲啊！我叫佢 boycott，你哋話 CPC，好唔好？Boycott! Boycott! 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 children that their grandchildren don't even remember or recognize them. Because they're always not home, sleeping in their own bed. It means that they live their lives liking incarceration. Oh, what do I have to do in my life now? One of them said recently. At least when someone is shot, the pain comes short and sweet. But for the rest of us, it doesn't end. 24 hours for days on end, for 10 years, for 20 years. And we're talking about 2021 in New York City. CPC, said the industry center. Coward! 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 CPC is closed today, not willing to face their own workers. They don't want to face what they've done to the women from their own community. More outrageously, they are busy hiring expensive lawyers to drag out workers' lawsuits for 2015. They drag it out so that the workers will wait for the verdict until they die. Look at all the workers who will come forward，拿起来这个牌子，你们每年工作了这么多年的24小时 ，Look at how many years of 24 hours ago doing that work. Look at how many years of violence that they have to endure. Is this not torture? For all the years of abuse, have we ever heard from CPC to apologize to the workers? No! Not even an apology? No! CPC, apologize! CPC, apologize! CPC, apologize! CPC, apologize! They are busy applying for grants. Somehow, they brand themselves as fighting against anti-Asian violence. How dare it make such a claim while abusing its own workers? Is it because that the workers are immigrants, women of color? Huh? Is it because they expect them to be quiet and submissive? How sad. How shameful. CPC's racism and sexism is against its own community! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC!
Boycott!
Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Last but not least, they've been crying poor. Oh, what's up with the 30-story luxury tower in Lower East Side? What's up with your $3 million annual surplus from the home attendant program? The CPC home attendants have courageously and bravely stood up against such a bully, and they have fought against CPC for 6 years. 6 years. 6 years. No justice, no response. 6 years, no peace. Now let's hear their stories. Yu Xiaohuan.
OK， 大家華策會嘅護理員企上嚟好唔好啊？今日有請嚟華策會嘅護理員發言。你都知呢個華策會一路以嚟24小時工作日，呢個喺全美國甚至全世界啊，好駭人聽聞嘅一樣嘢。而家喺紐約市21世紀2021年，嗱，有冇咩證據？有，呢啲就係證據。結婚。
大家好，我叫余少官，係前華策會嘅護理員。今天我和眾多嘅護理者們站喺度嚟，控訴華策會對我們有色種族嘅虐待。我以前在華策會長期做24小時嘅工作，照顧老人，晚上根本係 華策會為了懲罰我堅持要攞晚上嘅工資，就俾工我做幾個月啦。咁咧醫療嘅保險又斷啦。咁我向工會反映，後來咧公司先安排我照顧一個晚期嘅重病人。呢個病人咧冇辦法自己能力照顧嘅，一啲都唔得嘅。咁啊咧搬上搬落，搬到我咧個手啊腳啊痛到我冇辦法，堅持唔到啦。只能夠到61歲都未夠就提前喺街屋企休息，做物理治療。咁啊華策會佢哋係一直係咁樣虐待工人和病人，連一句道歉都唔會講嘅，係一個卑鄙無恥。依家竟然打着反壓齊暴力嘅旗號，招搖撞騙，還在州政府攞咗1000萬嘅經費，真係下流賤格。私家暴力嘅機構都有錢攞。我們這些遭受華策會暴力嘅護理員，一次遲攞唔到被拖欠嘅工資，還有道理可言啦。為何不能拿到這些賠償嘅工資呢？仲要繼續24小時個工作日，真係冇天理啊，冇人性。所以我哋要華策會立即停止24小時嘅工作日，立即賠償我哋所有工資護理員嘅工資，向我們所有人嘅道歉。多謝各位支持。
For years, a 24-hour shift.
你俾佢睇，做到我隻手咁樣啦。你俾佢睇，做到我條頸3、4、5、6都移咗位㗎啦，腰啊4、5、6移咗位。簡直就係冇醫生講你唔能夠再做呢個重病號嘅工作，唔能夠搬上搬落變咗佢以後咧就要坐輪椅。我話所以我就提前要退休。醫生講話唔能夠做，冇辦法。你隻手曲曬㗎呢個，攞個碗啊，10個幾鐘頭一餐，一日要攞4次。你話佢6個鐘頭，整6個鐘頭餵6個幾鐘頭餵粥一個病人，一個病人都要10年做咗，一個係植物人嚟嘅，嗰10年嗰個係植物人，所以我咧做到所有嘅病24小時嘅病人都係重症病號嚟嘅，係晚黑係你想瞓咧，佢又要嘈你，嘈到你成晚冇得瞓嘅，唔係屎就尿，唔係茶就水，你話你哋護理員係點樣瞓啊？講，你想話你可以瞓喎，佢唔俾你瞓㗎。俾隻手佢睇，兩隻手，佢嗰隻手咧，兩隻手，冇用。
So this is the result of the long years of 24-hour workdays. She injured her hand. She has to retire. She has to apply for early retirement because of how CPC has treated her all these years. So, okay. So CPC has been claiming that the anti-injury model is handing out the safety alarm, saying that if any violence happens, they should pull the trigger and sound the alarm. So now, the CPC attendant is going to sound the alarm. You'll be a polio, the biggest perpetrator in our community. CPC, carry on you! CPC, shame on you! CPC, shame on you! CPC, shame on you! All these years we haven't even heard a public apology doing the 24-hour workdays. So they put out demand to CPC. One is to immediately stop 24-hour workdays. And two, pay back the stolen wages to workers. And three, publicly apologize to the CPC home attendants. Stop the violence against Asians, CPC!
Stop violence! Stop violence!
CPC!
Stop violence!
CPC! Stop violence! CPC! Stop violence! CPC! Stop violence!
CPC!
Stop violence!
The CPC not only exploits Chinese home attendants, but also brings violence to other women of color. Now let's hear from Maria Rodriguez, who used to work at CPC for 6 years and quit only because they only offered 24-hour shifts.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Rodríguez. Trabajé para la agencia CPC por 5 años, lo cual siempre trabajé 24 horas, donde mi turno era de 72 horas a la semana y muchas veces me dejaban, no me reemplazaban y pasaba la semana completa trabajando 24 horas. Creo que ya es hora de que terminemos esto, de que hagamos la lucha, porque para mí es una discriminación y un abuso, donde tú trabajes 24 horas y solamente te paguen 12, que era lo que a mí me pagaba. Ya es hora de que paremos las 24 horas.
Good morning, my name is Maria Rodriguez. I was working 5 years in CPS, and I used to work 24 hours for 3 days, and some of the time they left me for the whole week and never sent me a replacement. So, and then I just get paid for 12 hours, so it's not fair. We gonna be working 24 hours and we just gonna to receive 12 hours. This is abuse of those people, and it's time to stop this robbery for the salary for the whole home worker. So thank you so much, and stop this abuse. Shame on you, CPS.
CPC! Shame on you!
CPC!
CPC! Shame on you! CPC! Shame on you! CPC! Shame on you! CPC!
Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Today we have workers of all trades, of all races, all genders coming to support CPC workers' demands. We're going to start with DSA Labor Bridge. Welcome, folks.
Good morning, folks. Today, brothers and sisters, we stand here today in solidarity with a special group of workers, home care attendants, some of whom are here with us, and many more are working, taking care of New York's most vulnerable, giving them respect and dignity. And again, we add our voices to the chorus that calls for justice. We need and we will raise our voices louder than those who excuse, who mislead, who cover up, and who lie about this abuse. Today, we stand in front of their most egregious employer, the Chinese Planning Council. They have set the pattern in the industry for the 24-hour shift. It was the CPC that their mission, their stated mission, is to serve the Chinese community, to serve the low-income community, to serve the undocumented, to serve those most in need. They, as a non-profit, accept tens of millions of dollars. They have a budget of $170 million. We ask them today to simply do no harm. We demand they stop stealing our sisters' wages. Pay the stolen back wages. Stop forcing workers to work a 24-hour day and then stealing 11 hours. 24 hours of work for 13 hours of pay. They have no shame. No shame. And disgracefully, this is New York state law. But Wayne Ho, you know who Wayne Ho is? Yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, right there. He's the CEO of the Chinese Planning Council. Yeah. Okay. Wayne Ho, everybody knows. We know and you know that it's wrong to steal. It's wrong. Everybody knows that it's a moral outrage or to force a human being to work a 24-hour shift. And you know the cost to their health and their families. Wayne Ho, it's wrong. So Wayne Ho must go. Wayne Ho must go. Wayne Ho must go. Wayne Ho must go. But I have a question for you. Does anybody know who was the CEO before Wayne? Jenny Lowe. Jenny Lowe. Jenny Lowe actually was at Morgan Stanley, and she was dividing money, $200 million, okay, to different nonprofits. Before she was here, from 2014 to 2018. But I'm not picking on Jenny Lowe. I bring her up because I got a letter from her, and some of you did too. She asked say no.
Jenny Low, we say no. Jenny Low, we say no. Jenny Low, we say no.
Okay, just one more thing.
Only good thing for her is some Chinese blood. This Jenny Low.
Bra sucker.
Hey,
Everyone knows that shamefully in our society, run by capital and landlords, that women, and especially women of color, and especially the undocumented, and the most poor among us, are the most abused. And very often, in New York State, they get their wages stolen, and in many cases, their dignity. So we're calling on CPC to do no more. Our organization that takes tens of millions, that says that they are against sexism, racism, and immigrant bias. Let me just wrap up. I have so many pages that I'm not good at this stuff, and my vision is not good either, so I'll put it away and it just flows out. Okay. I'm just going to start with saying that we need solidarity with these special women. Solidarity means that an injury to one is an injury to all. And in the labor movement, that means empathy, but it also recognizes that an injury to one, an injury to all is that if they do this to a group of workers, they'll do it to us. This is for Amazon workers, for nail salon workers, for teachers, for bus drivers, for nurses. This is everyone's fight. We stand and fight for our sisters, we fight for ourselves, we fight for our class. Solidarity.
Thank you, Bob. Next we have Becky Rahman from Youth Against Sweatshop.
Let's all do it together and sing. No more 24.
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 Boycott CPC.
Boycott CPC.
Boycott CPC.
Boycott CPC.
Say no to Jenny Low.
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 Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, I'm here with Ron. I'm a college student. And a big shout out to Youth Against Boycott for introducing me into learning more about the community here. We actually, I've actually, so in the past I've actually worked under CPC, they with SYEP programs for high school students. They have basically like a program where you go into it, and for people who are age 16 to 18 and even older, you just give them jobs that don't really mean anything. Don't really teach them about the ways in which that they can organize and learn more about the class divide in Chinatown. I had to be with Youth Against Sweatshops in order to learn more about that issue. So it's very important that we understand that workers from all trades and occupations, they're united with us in this movement to bring justice for the home attendant workers. The most important thing that I want all of you to get out of what I'll be saying at this moment is that this movement transcends beyond cultures, beyond education levels, beyond the kind of jobs that we're in. What CPC is scared of, what they're scared of is to know how big our movement is to get the 24-hour movement, the 24-hour workday out. It's the fact that the working class in Chinatown and in the Lower East Side are very much united to end the 24-hour workday. And if we do unite, if we get enough people behind this movement, there's nothing that will stop us. For decades, CPC has tried to show the image of a social organization that benefits the community. They've been doing it for roughly 50 to 60 years. But in fact, they've been founded as a corporation by design and development. I was a high school student, and like so many others who can attest to it, I was put to work in the city SYED program with CPC, where the job was some menial work with just some paperwork. But the CPC worked with the city to contract out jobs that appeal to the 16 to 18-year-olds as a means, they still take it as a means of supporting their low-income families. But it's exploitation at best. If I get into the medical field and make it through the schooling, I'm going to eventually have to attend to patients 24 hours and little to no rest. It sounds familiar because the home care attendants are going to the same. And I believe that it's high time that we all unite to try to bring an end to this system of oppression that is sustained by CPC. CPC likes to hide behind identity politics. They like to endorse people like Danny Lowe. They like to use identity as a wedge to divide the working class in this community. They like to fit. Yes. Shame on you, CPC. So they like to do that, and it's a big major problem because the workers here, they're left out. All the workers here, they get left out. Their stories of not all the time like knows about it, and it becomes a situation where we're all lumped together in Chinatown, and unfortunately that has to end. So we ultimately have to unite as a community, and we have to use it as much by any means necessary to force CPC to end the 24-hour workday, and it's well within their power to definitely act as a better steward for the community here and for the workers. Their struggle, what they have to go through is something that the CPC leadership they can never even imagine about that. They say in their office all they know how to do is roll up the grants. More grants. That's all they know how to do. But so overall, there's just a lot of hope. We're going to have real unity, and hopefully the 24-hour workday is going to end. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Mahir. Thank you, Youth Against Sweatshops. Now we have a lot more organizations, groups who are here to support, but we'll kind of prioritize the elected officials, the candidates and elected officials who have supported the CPC workers' call. Shout out to Ron Kim, who signed the pledge with workers first. Thank you, Ron Kim, who's unfortunately not able to attend with us today, but he has taken a brave stand against CPC. So next we have Chris Marte, candidate for District 1.
Let's go, everyone. No more 24.
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 In 2017, I stood with these home care workers on the corner of Madison and Rutgers, demanding our representatives to listen to them. And what did we hear? Silence. In 2018, we went to the press, got stories written up about the damage that was happening to these moms, to these sisters, to these grandmas. And what did we hear? Silence. In 2019 and 2020, we stood outside of their union, demanding for better protection, for them to be highlighted as heroes and individuals. And what 12-hour workday. Well, workday. But that's not enough. What about the decades that these women have gone through? Sacrificing their bodies, sacrificing their families, sacrificing their financial stability to take care of the most vulnerable population in our city.
Pay them back.
I'm here today not only as a candidate, but my mom is a home care worker. She used to commute from the Lower East Side to Parkchester every single day. And when her senior that she was taking care of wasn't doing so well, she had to work 24-hour shifts. Sometimes 36-hour shifts. Sometimes I wouldn't see my mom for a week. So these are not the only people you're hurting. You're hurting generations of children, of families. And so we can't take this little symbolic, oh yeah, let's abolish the 24-hour work week, without recognizing the damage you have caused, the harm you have caused. And so we're asking you guys to pay them back. Pay them back. Pay them back. Pay them back. No more 24. 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 There's no price you can put to people dying because of their working conditions, to the sacrifices in education and health care of their family. We owe these women everything. We owe the women who can't be here today everything. And so we're just not asking to pay them back, but give them everything that they demand. So let's go. No more 24. No more 24.
Next we have Lindsay Boylan, Borough President candidate.
Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Lindsay Boylan, and I'm a career urban planner and progressive Democrat. And today I couldn't be prouder to be standing with you in solidarity and calling out the Chinese American Planning Council for their inhumane labor practices. Our healthcare workers have kept the country running on the front lines of the pandemic to take care of our most vulnerable members of our communities. They are heroes. You are heroes who deserve the decency of sleep and the dignity of fair pay. I stand with our Chinese and immigrant workers in demanding that the Chinese American Planning Council put an end to the 24-hour shifts and that they immediately put an end to it exactly, and that they immediately pay back stolen wages. CPC, you set the industry standard. This should not be a race to the bottom. My husband and daughter are both Asian, and I worry about their safety given the rise of anti-Asian hate crimes. But racial violence isn't limited to physical violence, and this is economic violence. This is exploitation of the labor of immigrants and people of color. If we're serious about being better allies to our Asian friends and neighbors, then we must use all of our voices to call out injustice when we see it, no matter who is doing it. I'm honored to be here to show my support for these workers, and I want you to know that I will always stand with you. I will stand with delivery drivers who are denied a place to use the restroom. I will stand with you against the mayor and all those who are seeking to build a mega jail in Chinatown. And I stand with you today proudly in demanding fair pay and humane working conditions for our home care workers. Thank you, heroes.
Thank you, Lindsay. Next.
OK 嗱，頭先咧就有幾位支持者，咁咧包括一個選議員，咁咧馬太係選第一選區嘅市議員，以及咧頭先Lindsay Boylan咧係選呢個曼哈頓嘅呢個區長，咁咧佢哋亦都即係出嚟支持，亦都覺得呢個24小時係好唔公道嘅，亦都咧即係話仲會做當中有成半嘅工資冇俾，咁咧所以亦都出嚟大家 其實就即係話同大家企埋一齊，同大家工人企埋一齊，要求呢個無良機構立即停止呢種唔人道嘅工作安排。
Thanks again, Lindsay. Thanks again, Chris. Next we have Brad Kennedy Son. Welcome, Eve. We know that CPC has been using the violence that's done to the most vulnerable Asian people in our community to line their pockets, to ask for donations, to say that they stand with the community. We also know that Asian women who work in the most vulnerable low-wage labor, who do domestic labor, care work, are the people who are subjected to the most violence. They have said up and down that they are against anti-Asian violence. After everything that has happened, they say that they're for the community, and yet they continue to exploit workers. They make millions every year off of all of these workers and more. And they continue to refuse to pay them. They say that they cannot do it. They say that the government has to do it. They are lying. They have the money, and they can pay it. They refuse people who are more similar to these workers to say that we should be against anti-Asian violence. The deaths and the violence against people who are more similar to home care workers than they are to them, to continue to line their pockets. So what we have to say is, CPC needs to pay them, needs to treat workers with dignity. All workers deserve dignity, no matter what industry you're in, whether you are a home care worker, whether you're a massage worker, whether you're a salon worker, no matter what job you do, all workers deserve labor rights.
Hey, those are all basic. Those are all basic. I don't care if you're a prostitute. You deserve to be able to do that and make money. Because guess what? I've been blessed with Jesus.
Also true. Sex workers also deserve labor rights. We know that the people who do this labor are the people who are subjected to the most violence. And yet, they also face violence from their employers, from the government, from the people who refuse to pay them. Certain electeds will tell you that they cannot do this, that CPC can't pay them, that CPC can't apologize for what they did because they had to do it. They are lying to you. They can pay you. They have millions. They will make millions off of these workers. Labor rights for all workers. Thank you so much, Eve. Next we have Tiffany from AAFC.
Hi everyone, I'm here on behalf of the Asian American Feminist Collective, and we're here to say that we stand with home care workers. We do not stand with million-dollar nonprofits who claim that they cannot take accountability because it's the state's fault. Shame! I also want to pose the question, why is it that CPC staff members can make hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary a year, and yet they cannot pay their workers a minimum wage living? Just because you wear suits to work or you have a certain level of education does not make you better than or worth more than any of these people. I want to keep it short because I know everyone has so much to say. But I also just want to pose the question of why is it that there are so many people in the Asian American organizing community who have been so quick to come up and support
they don't deserve this. This is not about intra-Asian conflict. This is not about Asian people coming after their own. This is about protection. This is about mutual aid and actually caring about the safety of our elders. If you really say that your hands are tied and you cannot do anything within the system, maybe you should consider going around the system or outside of the system. Maybe the system needs to be dismantled then. If this system that you have put in place is actually actively exploiting the people that you claim to help, maybe we need to question that. Why is that? Why is it that this lawsuit has been going on for 6 years? Lawyers have been paid hundreds an hour in order to protect CPC, and yet they cannot even do the basic level of protecting their own workers. This is not just a labor rights issue, this is also a feminist issue. And I do feel like everyone here, I appreciate you all for standing up for home care workers, for domestic workers, for sex workers, for everyone who is working class. However, how many people are not here who need to be here? So many people will come to an arts gathering or some anti-Asian hate crime rally, led by celebrities, but they won't come here, okay? They're not actually down to protect and serve our vulnerable communities, the people who are victims to anti-Asian violence. So what's the point? What's the point of all this progressive politics? What are we doing? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm keeping it short because I am just so frustrated and exhausted. I'm also incredibly nervous being here in the presence of CPC staff. It's really difficult to talk about this. I just want to say, if you're making that much money, redistribute your money. Do whatever the fuck you can. All right, thank you so much for everyone. I'm passing it back.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Woo! Shout out to Asian American Feminist Collective. And next we have Eileen Chen, a District 20 candidate. And for the purpose of to limit the time, because we're near the end of the scheduled time, we'll keep it short. Thanks, Eileen.
And the 24! And the 24! And the 24! And the 24! Pay back the stolen wage! Pay back the stolen wages! Pay back the stolen wage! Pay back the stolen wages! I want to do a little introduction of myself. I was an Uber driver, and then I became a union organizer. Through our protest, through our rally, through our hearing at the city council, we secure minimum pay for Uber drivers. We secure 300,000 black car drivers in New York State as portable benefits. It's a consistent fight, right? It's a consistent fight that we need to bring the 21st century labor movement to the city council, to the state assembly, and to state senate. We must make sure that no one is discriminated because of their race, because of their gender, because of how they look like and their language abilities. And therefore, we are coming here to demand CPC to pay back the stolen wage. Are we afraid? Are we afraid? Are we afraid? Are we afraid? Are we ready to fight? Yes! Are we ready to fight? Yes! Let's fight back and let's guarantee our grandma, grandpas, and whoever, have worked in the classic situation to have their money back and to have their health care to taken care of when they retire. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Highland. Next we have Gabby from Party for Socialism Liberation.
Hello, comrades, friends, supporters. I'll keep it brief, but I want to say this. We are here because we know that workers are powerful, and we commend the courage of the workers who stand up to employers, who tell them, no, we simply don't have the money to pay you the wages that you've earned. That try to justify making someone work 24 hours straight. We know there is no justification for exploitation. We know there is no justification for racist violence, for sexist violence. And what these workers are experiencing sits in the intersection of all of that. Because we exist under a system that tries to rob us of our power, that uses racism and sexism as justification for our exploitation, to keep us, the workers, divided from one another. But we know it's not worker versus worker. We know it's workers versus capitalists versus employers. We know it's not us versus each other. We know it's us versus the racists, the sexists, and anybody who tries to keep us oppressed and down. We have every right to reclaim our power. And that is what these workers are doing, and that is what we all must do. We stand in solidarity with these workers and every worker that is facing exploitation under this system. And as my comrade here said, you know what we must do? We must fight not just for an end to the 24-hour work days, for stolen wages, but an end to a system that allows for that to happen in the first place. So power to you, power to us all, power to the people. Let's continue the fight. It doesn't end here. We'll be back every single day until we get what's rightfully ours. Thank you.
Last but not least, we have laundry worker centers.
Hello, everybody. How everybody feels? We are very upset against CPC, right? That's shame. We need to, our comrades has to suffer in that way. My name is Mahoma Lopez from Laundry Worker Center. I'm with the Workers Assembly Against Racism. Mi nombre es Mahoma López, soy del Centro de Trabajadores de la Lavandería y estoy con la Asamblea de los Trabajadores en contra del racismo. Reprimimos cualquier tipo de violencia. Los trabajadores inmigrantes siempre somos víctimas de todo tipo de explotación. Estamos aquí para decir no más. No más. Las jornadas de 24 horas son explotación para favorecer a los empleadores y a las corporaciones. Y hoy estamos aquí en solidaridad porque todos unidos somos más fuertes. Debemos de estar unidos en contra del odio racial, la brutalidad policíaca, del robo de salario y de las tácticas antiunión. Condenamos a PCP por la explotación de nuestros camaradas. ¿Y qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo? We are against any type of violence against immigrant workers. The immigrant workers are always victims of all kinds of exploitation. We are here to say no more. 24 hours working. That's to favor the employers and the corporations. That's why we are here in solidarity, because we need to be all united. All united, we are stronger against racial hate, police brutality, against wage theft, and the anti-union tactics. We condemn PCP for the exploitation of our comrades. Thank you. So this May 1st is very special because that's the Day International of the Workers. So this May 1st, we're going to be here in Canales Street and Baxter in support of the laundromat workers, because the laundromat workers are in the similar situation as the same conditions of the domestic workers. We are here in solidarity, and we hope see you May 1st here in Canales Street and Baxter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahoma.
come out and take the letter?
What does the letter say?
So the letter is basically reiterate what Lai has been saying. First, stop the 24 hours immediately and pay back the stolen wages to all the workers and publicly apologize to the CPC home attendants.
所有服務人員道歉。
Stop the 24-hour workday. Pay back the workers. Not even say apology to the workers.
Not even an apology? Crying poor?
CPC, shame on you. 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 So CPC want to stay there, stay quiet, counting their money instead of really apologizing to their workers. Such a shame! You're shame to the Chinese community. You know, 24 hours, nowhere in the world has 24-hour workday but you. What are you doing on vacation? You can't even start saying apologizing to the workers? How shameful, CPC!你道唔道歉啊？或者喂，你而家道歉你都唔講俾你工人知，收唔收錢啊？
They know he's wrong. They just like
你
fools.
知唔知醜啊？
They got
全世界24小時工作人啊！你講出你知醜啊！你對啲工友點解唔道歉？點解你唔立即賠償工人？點解你唔立即停止24小時工作人？你企喺度翻咩響度啊？
We boycott him. Boycott the CPC as I am who were not to give them money. That's what they care. They only care about money, nothing else.
So now that CPC wants to stand there quiet, we have 4 action items for all of you today. 1. Boycott CPC. Cut ties with CPC until they meet workers' demands. 3 demands. Urge foundations, donors, organizations to withdraw funding from CPC because that money is going to support the sweatshop in the backyard. Action 2. Urge all elected officials to withdraw endorsement of City Council candidate Jenny Low. She's formerly CPC's chair of board of directors and president. 3. Endorse call to end 24-hour workday. There's a bill to split the 24-hour care to 12-hour split shifts to protect the health of both home attendants and their patients. 4. As Mohammed mentioned earlier, we need to, as May Day approaches, we need to reunite and demand the 8-hour working day, the tradition of our labor movement. Let's unite to end the 24-hour workday! No more 24! No more 24! No more 24! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Woo! Woo! Earlier, we announced Ron Kim. There's also Christopher Marte, Julie Wan, Jonathan Bailey, and so many more. Kylie Chen. We also are still distributing the pledge for everyone to sign and support the workers. Please contact us and sign your name. Thank you. Today's protest is officially the end. Please stick around, sign in if you haven't done so. So we'll send out the updates from emails so everyone can know what CPC decided. Publicly apologize! Publicly apologize! Publicly apologize! Publicly apologize! Publicly apologize! And we'll be back again if you ignore us, if you keep delaying this. If you don't change the demand, we will be back. Thank you.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it,
Shut it down!